The vagus nerve is the main component of the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, it's the parasympathetic nervous system that you feel after you've had a large meal. It's kind of the anabolic nervous system. It restores the body to a state of rest. It lowers the heart rate. It dilates the blood vessels. It increases salivary gland activity. It relaxes our skeletal muscle. It improves stomach movement, and it also increases our glandular secretions. So again, it's the parasympathetic nervous system that we activate when we are in a state of rest, when we are kind of rebuilding and repairing our body. And it's the vagus nerve that is the main component of that parasympathetic nervous system. Now, the vagus nerve is the 10th cranial nerve, and it branches out from the brain, connecting the throat, heart, lungs, liver, pancreas, gut, duodenum, and descending colon. Now, it's also sometimes called the wanderer nerve because of the fact that it's this branched and it connects with this many parts of the body. Now, it's the gut, liver, lungs, and heart that actually use the vagus nerve to send information back to the brain. Okay, so on the right side of the board here, we have mice, depressed mice that were fed probiotics for about a week. And after about a week, they noticed that these mice were less depressed. They had improved learning and memory test scores, and they had lower stress hormones in their blood. I went over this example in my Gut Part 1 video, but what I did not mention is that when these researchers cut the vagus nerve connection to the gut, all these benefits that the mice experienced from taking the probiotic were lost. Now, the vagus nerve is bidirectional, so think of it as like a highway. You can have information traveling in both directions. Now, it's bidirectional specifically between the brain and the gut, and it helps connect the emotional and cognitive areas of the brain to gut function. Now, it can be bidirectional in other aspects of the body as well, but I'm really focusing on the gut and the brain in this illustration. So if you are stressed out, it's going to negatively impact your gut function, and vice versa. If your gut is not functioning properly, it's also going to negatively impact your mood and even cognitive function. So again, it's the vagus nerve that is what connects the gut and the brain together. It's one of the ways that the gut and the brain are connected is through this vagus nerve. Now, finally, researchers had found just by stimulating the vagus nerve, they can induce a sense of anxiety in a patient or a sense of comfort, again, just by stimulating the vagus nerve at different frequencies. And in fact, the EU has allowed a medical device to be used by psychiatrists to help treat depression, and it's this device that just stimulates the vagus nerve. So anyways, again, just by changing different frequencies upon the vagus nerve can induce different states of mind or different emotional states. So that's the vagus nerve. It really connects the gut and the brain together, as well as all these other body parts listed in the center of the board here. It is the main component of the parasympathetic nervous system, and it's that nervous system that helps us repair our body and make us feel relaxed. It is the opposite of the fight or flight nervous system, which is the sympathetic nervous system. So what would I recommend you doing based on this video? Well, first of all, the vagus nerve is a nerve. So you want to be getting enough potassium and sodium in your diet because it's potassium and sodium that are critical for proper nerve function. And if you want to add a probiotic, I recommend you start slowly. So I would recommend taking some fermented food like kimchi. I have yogurt here. So, just take some yogurt a couple of times a week. That's what I would recommend, is to start taking probiotics very slowly as food, like fermented food or yogurts or kefir. Also, if you want to start a supplement, I recommend Dr. Matthews. This is very strong and it is very effective. I've been taking probiotics as a capsule for the better part of a decade now, and I found Dr. Matthews to pretty much be the best that I have come across. And I would, again, start slowly. Probiotics are living organisms, and let your body adapt slowly over time. And if you're going to start taking Dr. Matthews probiotic or any probiotic, if you can break them in half, I would start doing, I would break them in half and take them slowly to see how your body reacts. So this is the vagus nerve. It connects the brain and the gut together, as well as all these other body parts. It is basically a communication highway for all of these internal organs in our body.